Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Thank you for joining me once again. I am currently in Mawddach at the moment in North Wales, and I'm heading along the Mawddach Trail along the side of the Mawddach Estuary towards Barmouth. I'm stopping in Barmouth this week for the whole week, and I thought I would do this walk again. I've done it before previously from the opposite direction, from Barmouth to Mawddach, and I've done the walk in various different parts at various different stages several times, to be quite honest with you. Probably more like 20 or 30 times if I'm really honest. It's such a popular walk anyway. It runs along, part of the walk runs along an old railway line track bed, so it's all very flat and very easy to do. And along the way I'm hoping to capture some great images. I have done previously when I've been here before, and today the weather conditions are amazing. Bright blue sky, sunshine, but there is also a little bit of mist and low cloud rolling in. And as I've travelled here on the bus this morning past the estuary from Barmouth, what I've noticed is some of those pockets of mist and low cloud are kind of lingering around in the valley just where I'm about to walk. So hopefully they'll give me some great separation between subject and background, but also they're providing absolutely fantastic light as well. So this could be a very interesting vlog. As I say, I'm just on the Mawddach Trail at the moment, walking out of Mawddach. In a little while I'll be onto the trail itself and on the track bed of the old railway line. But for now, I'm going to keep walking. So I mentioned that mist and low cloud. I don't know how well that comes across on that video footage that I've just shown you, but I couldn't really find a spot there for a photo composition, but I wanted to try and show you exactly what I was looking at, because I know that in a little while from now I'll be getting right into the heart of the estuary itself, where I know that that mist and low cloud was lingering around first thing this morning when I caught the bus here. So hopefully that's going to give us something really interesting in just a few minutes time. So I've got to the small hamlet of Penmine Pool, which is just about 2.5, maybe 3 miles along the estuary from Mawddach. Along the way I've come through quite a bit of woodland, and there's not really an awful lot of opportunity to capture images from that spot. But I did cross a bridge, and as I was crossing the bridge over a river, I took a shot of the river itself from the top of the bridge using the GoPro. So I hope you've enjoyed that image, but also now that I'm here, I know there are at least 2 or 3 compositions I can shoot, because I've shot them before from this very location. Behind me, I don't know how well you can see, just there's a little spit of land that kind of juts out into the estuary a little bit. There is a path along there that I can walk along and take a photo from there in a little while, but for now I'm going to stand here at the side of the road and take a photo of that spit of land with all this cloud and beautiful blue sky above me. But then literally whilst standing in exactly the same spot, I can turn the camera around and then look over towards the mountains and this toll bridge in the distance. The toll bridge is lovely. It looks great when there's some light on it. I don't think there's very much on it at the moment, but also then you've got those mountains behind which have got a little bit of light on them, but they're also now shrouded in mist and low cloud. So there's an image there as well. And then, as I say, I'm going to walk back along here and across to that path along that spit of land there, and then take a photo again looking back towards those mountains and the toll bridge just there. So there's at least 3 shots here, so I hope you like these images. I've gone about as far as I dare along this path, along this little spit of land that I was talking about earlier. The reason is because the sand gets quite soft on the very edge of this little bit of land here, and I don't want to go too far and end up in quicksand. At the moment I'm on fairly hard surface, but that kind of comes to a sudden stop in a few meters from now. So I'm going to stand here and take this shot looking back towards those mountains in the distance, and possibly get the toll bridge in the shot as well, probably on the bottom right hand side of the image with the mountains in the distance. So that's the shot I'm going to take here. A couple of things happened back there that I wanted to tell you about. Firstly, that sun that's bearing down on us now, it's quite warm for the last weekend in September, so it's burning off all that mist and low cloud that I was talking about earlier. So those opportunities for compositions using that mist and low cloud are going to be a little bit limited for the rest of this video by the looks of things. But the other thing that happened while I was taking that last shot was I broke out the 14 to 35mm f4 lens, and I haven't used it for ages, and I was trying to work out why it was that I haven't really used that lens very much recently. And I think the only thing I can think is that I've been using the 24 to 105mm lens quite a lot more recently. I think I quite like the versatility of that lens a little bit more than the 14-35. Now that's of course because the 14-35 is obviously an ultra wide to wide angle lens, so obviously it's got very limited scenarios where I can shoot it. However, I've always loved shooting that lens and using it because it's a brilliant lens. But I think the 24 to 105 is slowly becoming my favourite lens, like I said, because of that versatility. Now that may just be a coincidence that in recent times some of the images that I've looked at I felt look better with a 24 to 105 at somewhere around about 24, 35, maybe 50mm. So that's quite an interesting development. Anyway, I'm almost halfway through this walk now. Within a couple of minutes I'll be about halfway through the walk, and I'm kind of rushing a little bit to try and get back to my hotel. My team, Aston Villa, are playing a match this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Now obviously I can't really travel back from Barmouth to Birmingham for 2 o'clock today to go and watch that game myself, but I might be able to watch it on TV, and I'm pretty sure that they'll have it on TV in the bar at the hotel where I'm staying. So the trick now is to try and get back in time for preferably 1:30, so I can get a drink, get myself sat down and get some lunch before the game kicks off. We'll see how that one goes. It is about 10:30 now, and like I say, I'm about halfway through the walk, not quite halfway through the walk, and it's taken me just over an hour and a half to get here. So I've still got 3.5 hours to do the other half of the walk. I think I'm going to manage it, but you never know. It depends on how often I stop and take photos and how often I stop and talk to you guys. But it is a fairly straight run now from here, so I'm going to keep walking and see what I can find a little way along. I love the fact that the shifting sands around here and the constant ebb and flow of the tidal waters at this spot really give you some interesting compositions just looking out onto the estuary itself. And this here is a perfect spot to kind of demonstrate that to you. Now I've come to an area where there's quite a lot of sand in the middle of the estuary. Just on the edges of the estuary you can see quite a lot of water congregating, and it's obviously where tidal water has flown up the estuary towards this spot here. But obviously the shifting sands have meant that some areas of sand have remained exposed where water's covered other areas. It's a really interesting shot. But then in the distance behind the estuary on the other side there are these beautiful trees. Not sure what they are, but they're all different colours. So you've got some yellows, some greens, some oranges and browns in there, and there's a house, a white house, or a white building of some description just in the centre of the scene as well. And I think this looks absolutely fantastic as a composition. I'm going to shoot it now and I'll show you the composition then. Now, I know us landscape photographers talk about light an awful lot. Hell, I've talked about it a lot myself just on this particular vlog. But it really is one of the most important aspects of landscape photography, to be honest with you. Light and composition. If you're not studying those things, watching what the light is doing and looking at your composition constantly, then you really can't get anywhere in landscape photography, to be honest with you. Something I do just automatically now. It becomes kind of muscle memory, which I've spoken about before on this channel. Yeah, it's just a case of making sure that you get all your information correct on screen when you're taking the photo. Now, while I was taking those two photos, the light was changing quite a bit whilst I was just setting up the camera to take the photo. And as it did so, it made the images a lot darker and a lot moodier. But I actually rather like that in the scene, to be honest with you. And I quite like the reflections on the water in those two images as well. So it really is a case of watching the light. That light had changed a huge amount just in the few seconds it took me to get the camera out and put it on the tripod and set everything up. So it wasn't quite the same image that I was expecting to have taken. However, same composition, just different light, and I loved it. Anyway, in a few moments time I'm going to get my first glimpse of Barmouth Bridge. It's technically not my first glimpse, I saw it about 20 minutes back. But at that point you couldn't see very much of it, and it was very, very small on the horizon, so even the 100 to 400mm lens wouldn't have got me a decent image of that. The trek itself kind of weaves and bends around here and there at various points, and we've got a bend coming up in the track now, and as we come out around the bend the scene opens up and you can see Barmouth Bridge just there. So hopefully there'll be an image there as well. But as I said, all the mist has burnt away now, and it's kind of left a legacy of just low cloud all over the place, which is what is making some moody, dark images. But I've really enjoyed the vlog so far. I'm going to keep moving and see if we can get an image of Barmouth Bridge in just a few minutes' time. I'll stop just back there, just about 100 yards or so back, to take that image of Barmouth Bridge out in front of me. It's probably about the best I could do at 400mm from this position. As I get a little bit closer there might be another opportunity to capture it again, but for the time being it's just disappeared out of sight. But also while I was there I decided to look back in the direction that I've already come from. And I'm glad I did, because just as I did that, the light on the trees behind me and on the other side of the estuary were looking fantastic. So it was an opportunity to use the 100 to 400mm to zoom in on that and capture a decent image of the beautiful light on those trees in the background. So I'm heading on now. I've come into a bit of a woodland, as you can see, it's gone very dark. And as I come out of here I'll probably be at the village of Mawddach, and that's probably roughly 2/3 of my journey then. So I'm going to carry on and I'll get a photo there as well. I'm 2/3 of the way through my journey now, and I've come to Mawddach, little village of Mawddach, which is just outside Barmouth. Like I say, I'm 2/3 of the journey in now, so I've not got very long to go. But I came to this spot because just here behind me we've got some tank traps that were put here during the Second World War to stop tanks from being dropped on the beach in Barmouth and driving up the estuary towards Dolgelly and into Wales. So that's quite an interesting little addition to the scene. But obviously I've photographed those before, but behind me what I've got is I've just stood here and set up my tripod behind me. Don't know how well you can see that just there. And as I look out between two trees you can see just behind my head just there, and that tree on the left hand side, sorry, the right hand side, or the left hand side as you look at it now, there's a nice little spot just between those trees where you get a perfect composition of all that beautiful greenery and the colours across the other side of the estuary, with the, like I said, the shifting sands and the dunes and everything that's going on across there. It's a beautiful shot, and the light just at that moment was absolutely perfect, so I had to kind of stop here and take that shot anyway. But I'm going to head on now and start heading back towards Barmouth. Hopefully in about an hour and a half I'll be there. I need to be there fairly quickly because obviously I've got the football match that I want to watch a little bit later, and I'm running a little bit short on time now. I'll probably get there with about 45 minutes to go before the game starts. And if that's the case, then I'll be able to get a drink, get sat down, get something to eat before the match starts itself. So I'm going to give it a go anyway. Look at the light on my face now, it's just pure sunlight really. I've just passed Mawddach railway station. It's a request stop, and it's the last stop on the Cambrian coastline railway before you come into Barmouth itself. So that means I'm now probably about a mile and a half from Barmouth, but crucially it's also the point at Mawddach where I will approach the Barmouth Bridge and start crossing that in just a moment. It's been out of view for a while because it does that, unfortunately. Like I said earlier, the path kind of curves round every now and then and just removes it from view. So unfortunately I haven't been able to see it at all for about the last half an hour or so. But in a moment or two I will literally be on that bridge. Now I mentioned Mawddach because whilst it's all the last stop on the Cambrian coastline railway, it was also a stop on the line that I was just walking along, which is now disused. And of course at Mawddach the line used to turn down the side of the estuary and head into Barmouth along that route there, which I've just walked. But the estuary itself became more and more flooded every year, and so it was decided that they should shut that railway line that went along the estuary because it was constantly flooded. So that was shut, and the line now goes from here at Mawddach, carries on further south from Barmouth towards Towin, and then cuts in land from there. It's probably about a few more miles further south, but it is also the line where I caught the train into Barmouth yesterday. So that line carries on into mid Wales, and then obviously across the border into the Midlands and back into Birmingham. So that was the train I caught yesterday on the way here, and I'm now looking at the railway line as it goes across the bridge into Barmouth, and that's where I'm heading now. So I'm on Barmouth Bridge right now. There's not really a lot of space to set up a tripod here, but I think I'm going to get the camera out anyway and take a few handheld shots because the views here are absolutely spectacular. The water level's quite high, higher than I've seen it before at this point, so it's got to be worth taking a few photos here, quite honestly, and I hope you like these images. I'm going to leave the vlog here for now because, like I said, I'm on Barmouth Bridge now. Just a few more minutes and I'll be in Barmouth again and back at my hotel. It is still just about 10 to 1 in the afternoon, so I've got plenty of time to get back and get ready for the match that's on the telly at 2 o'clock. So hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.